You're listening to She's the Business podcast.
Now, if you're a multi-passionate person like me and you've got many different skills, lots of experience and so many different things, it can feel really difficult and complex when it comes to your business as to what you should really be focusing on. Like, which element should you use if you're going to define a niche? And should you even define a niche? What if you're leaving out all of these things on the table and you really want to use your skills and experience to help other people because you know just how powerful it is? Now, today's episode is all about why you don't need to choose, why you don't need to leave anything out on the table, because I'm sharing with you a very special story of one of my clients who has combined her skills and experience to create something super, super unique. Now, please stay tuned. This is one story you are definitely not going to want to miss out on.
Hi, I'm your host, Jessica Osborne, and in my 23 years of business and marketing, I've built many brands to become multi-billion-dollar companies. And just in the last 10 years, I've built 2 online businesses of my own from my dining room table with 2 little babies running around at my feet. I've made it my mission to inspire you to get out of your own way and become the successful business owner who's living the lifestyle you really desire without all the hustle. This is She's the Business podcast, made by women for women. This is your weekly dose of motivation and inspiration.
So my very special guest today is the lovely Zia Nix. Now, Zia is an Integrative Nutrition Health Coach, a registered yoga teacher, certified breath coach, and Reiki Master. Now, she is essentially your holistic health, wellness, nutrition, inside, outside, the whole works. Zia is an expert in everything to do with your mind, your body, and your soul. And I just love to bring her onto the podcast to share with you her incredible story, because when she joined me in Business Jam late last year, she had all these separate skills and offerings that she was trying to get going in her business. And it was feeling really heavy, really complicated, and just overwhelming. Like, where do you even start marketing when you've got these different offerings that you have, very different services? Do I go after the nutrition? Do I offer Reiki? What am I doing? How do I even make this work? So that was her question when she came in. And working through the steps that we go through in Business Jam to really define your niche and get super clear on who you are, who it is that you're targeting, Zia has actually incredibly done something that I find so, so powerful, and that is to create her own niche. Now, without sharing all of her story before she's even started talking, I'm not going to share with you all of the secrets now. You'll have to listen to her tell it to you. But she was able to create a unique offering. And actually what that meant for her was being able to simplify everything in her business. She's now so clear, so calm, so confident about who she is, about who she serves, and what it is that she's offering, that she's no longer in this place of feeling confused, feeling overwhelmed and scattered. She's actually super, super clear, and she's making amazing progress. She's out there, she's got clients, she has meditations up on a global wellness website. She is doing all of the things, and it's simply because we've removed all of that complexity that was really holding her back before. So you're definitely going to want to listen to this story, listen to Zia, and really see what it is that she's done, what she does for others, and how she's able to make something that is complex, like combining our mind, body, and soul all together, into something that's so simple and works like a dream. So without further ado, let me play this interview for you. Okay, and I'm here with the lovely Zia Nix. Zia, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. I've been looking forward to creating this episode with you for quite some time, as you would know. And I'm just so excited that we're getting to do it today. So welcome.
Thank you, Jess. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, before we get into your amazing story, which I think is just such a cool thing to talk about today, because
you know, life is so busy, things are complicated, business can feel hard, heavy, and just so complex, right? Can we bring in simplicity? And I think that the way you've done it is just so powerful. But before we dive into your story, can you tell us just in a nutshell what it is that you do and who do you help in your business today?
Sure. Thank you. So I am a holistic wellness plus embodiment coach. I kind of focus on like mind, body, soul. So those are kind of the three areas that I focus on in my business. And the main thing that I help people do is kind of get out of their heads, like out of that stress response and into their bodies, into their trust, inner knowing, intuition. Because like you said, things get so busy and we get so in our heads, but really when we're able to drop into our bodies and into from a relaxed point, then we're actually able to get that clarity and insight and creativity and things actually start to flow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How did you get into this? Yeah, because like it's definitely something that sounds quite unique. So tell us a bit about how you got started.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So it's always been my dream to have my own business. That's always been something that I've always been like called to do. It's been like this nagging sense, inside of me that I was meant for more, but I was pretty clueless about what that business was going to be. I guess I kind of fell into health and wellness. So like 5 years ago, I was in a therapist's office and I was like just bawling my eyes out because I'd just been dumped again. And, I was just sort of stuck in this cycle of toxic relationships. And, I had a lot of energy, but I was just putting it into all the wrong places. And so my therapist says to me, you keep putting yourself in these relationships, but you're not ever any happier. Maybe it's time to figure out how to make yourself happy. And so that was kind of my wake up call to like figure out like what was going on with me, like figure out my health issues and figure out what was holding me back and figure out what would actually make me happy. And so that was kind of my healing journey. Like I got really into self-care and meditation and yoga and I used to like order takeout all the time, but then I started cooking for myself and, I really started to blossom and, come back into myself and I got better. And my therapist was like so impressed with my progress. She's like, actually, maybe this should be your business, like sharing this, like the gift of wellness with others.
Yeah. How many people could use that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's hard to think, so many people, I think we all could sit there and think, well, there's lots of stuff I know about health and I know that I should be doing. And then I don't know, it's like stories that we tell ourselves or things that we go,
Exactly.
this bit doesn't really hurt. And, I think it's funny when you get that wake up call and you start realizing, holy moly, like I didn't even realize that it had got to this point or that I'd gone so far and how it's affecting me. I bet you have some good stories to tell about that one as well.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us a bit about, what are these different elements, because you've brought them together into a business. And I remember when we first met, you had all these different things going on. So talk to us a bit about the start of your business journey and what it was that you were trying to do. And then I guess how you have created your unique offering now.
Yeah. So
question,
when
sorry.
Sure, that's okay. Eventually, I found coaching and I found the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, which is where I got certified to become a health coach. And what was really interesting about that is we do like integrative nutrition. So it's not just food. We focus on like the other areas of your life. So like your relationships, your home environment, your career, your spirituality, and like some of these other elements that contribute to your overall health. And so I thought that was really cool because it really spoke to a lot of my skills and interests. I'm into like mindfulness and feng shui and, leading an active lifestyle. And so it really like spoke to like all of my skills and interests. And it was just really like a perfect fit for me. Since then, I have just been a bit of a health nerd and just like learning like everything I possibly can, like anything I'm interested in. And through that, I've become a certified breath coach. I'm now a Reiki Master. I do life coaching. And so that was the thing. I was doing all of these separate things. I would do like life coaching over here and a little bit of nutrition coaching. But through our work together, I saw how I could bring all of these like seemingly different elements together into like an even like a really powerful offering to get people like, a really big like transformation. Because like I said, it is really like mind, body, soul. Like I'm not just working with the body, but also with the mindset, the limiting beliefs, the fears, like the things that hold you back, and also helping people tap into that trust and intuition and inner knowing and, feeling connected to purpose. And so I think for me, it was also just kind of looking within myself and finding that, like you said, like I don't have to do it like everyone else. Like I can be sort of my own niche. Like I can like create my own path and not think that there's anything wrong with like the fact that I'm into like all these different things and that it's actually to my benefit that I have this really unique experience to offer people.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what a huge hurdle of fear, I think we would call it, to overcome, because when you're new in business, you are looking around at other people who are already doing it, and you had these separate things. So you're probably seeing, well, I can see somebody who's an integrative nutrition coach, and I can see someone here who's a life coach, and someone here who does breath work, and you can see all these different people, and to you, the examples that they're showing you are of separate offerings. And then to actually kind of go, well, what if I combine all of this and come up with my own thing in my own space? That took a big leap of faith, a big trust in yourself. But amazing. Tell us a bit about, what does that look like now, and who is it? Because again, we're talking about health, and I'm sure almost everybody in the world could do with this kind of help. But who did you decide is the most sort of aligned to you, that you could really help the most with that? Like, what sort of people are you out there speaking to where you're like, okay, let's do this because I've got exactly what you need. I'm really keen to hear about that side of it too.
Yeah. So right now, I'm working with like other coaches and teachers, healers, spiritual seekers, dreamers, small business owners, entrepreneurs, anybody who has like who's like me, that has that nagging sense that they're meant for more, but like something is holding them back from getting to that next level. If it's either, some sort of like internal limitation, or it's like some negative thought patterns or beliefs that are holding them back. But that's kind of like my superpower, is I'm able to like illuminate like what those patterns and behaviors are, so that we can like get to the bottom of them and remove the blocks that are keeping you from, living a life that you love.
Amazing. And so, are you finding that there are some commonalities? There's a lot of different people that you just mentioned in different sort of areas, but I guess like what your superpower is like you can kind of rise, those sort of differences, but see some commonalities and be like, right, well, these are the key areas that we're going to focus on. So tell us a bit about how you combined all of your amazing expertise in all those different areas into a program, and what is the transformation like that they go through, or how does that work?
Yeah. So like I was saying earlier, one of the biggest things that people come to me with is that they're just so stressed out. Like I said, they're so in their head, they're so stressed out. And because of that, things in their life are not flowing. So it's like, because energy can't flow through tension. It's like if you want like money or love or, abundance, impact, whatever it is, it's all energy, but it's like it can't flow through you if you're like this, and so again, it's like I help them like get out of their heads and into their bodies and into a more like relaxed and receptive space where things in their life now can flow.
Wow.
So it really just depends. I do these like I do energetic healing. That's one of the things that I offer in the program, and those are like just really nice restorative sessions where I do like a combination of Reiki or breath work or guided meditation, and it really just helps people to start to create distance between them and their thoughts, to create distance between them and their emotions. To realize that you are not your thoughts, you are the thinker. It's like you are not your emotions, you are the feeler, and to create that separation. And with that separation, they can bring awareness to these patterns or these behaviors that they're doing. And with that awareness comes insight. And then we're able to like undo them and, sort of implant new behaviors and new, healthier ways of like thinking and feeling and being.
Oh, amazing. And so do you do this on an individual basis where, you've got someone who you're coaching and you pick and choose which is going to be the best method to work with them on because you've sort of seen what it is that they're struggling with? So you might be like, well, we're going to do Reiki, or we'll do a breath work. Are you doing all of them with everybody? Or I mean, because I don't really know much about them at all. I have been somebody who's I've been someone who's had someone do Reiki on me, but I wouldn't know, I wouldn't know, hey, well, that's really what you need, or that's actually somebody else needs breath work. Or do you find that you use all of the techniques on everybody?
No, it just depends on whatever they have going on, because I have some clients that are more sensitive to the Reiki and they really love it. I have some clients that I just do breath work and like the guided meditation. So it really just depends on like what their goals are and what they're struggling with. And then like in addition to the energetic healing, I do like more traditional style coaching. And then that's where I bring in like some of the nutrition components and some of the mindset work. So it just depends, like if they're having a lot of like physical stress, or if there's something going on with their diet or their sleep, those are things that we can bring balance to. And so that's all part of it. It's just figuring out what those blocks are and like clearing them for good.
Yeah, amazing. And, it is so all interlinked, isn't it? Because if your nutrition is not good, it's impacting your stress, and it's probably then impacting your sleep and then and your brain.
Yeah. You don't feel your best. Yeah, exactly.
Goodness.
And so that's why it really is like, so like my like tagline is quiet the mind, heal the body, awaken your soul.
Oh, love it. That's amazing. So tell us, what do you see the change? Like, give an example of somebody who you've been coaching and what they came to you as, like what sort of things that they were doing or struggling with, and then what you've seen happen through some of this work. Because I just love to see the before and after. Give us a visual of the before and after.
Yeah. So one really awesome thing that just happened recently, I have a client that I'm working with. She lost her father 3 years ago, and we just started working together a few months ago. And she said to me that she just feels like she's been in a perpetual state of stress for the past 3 years. And so with her, she's one of the ones that's more sensitive to, she really enjoys the Reiki sessions. And the Reiki is great for her because she's so stressed out. It helps get her out of that stress response, and it helps get her into that like rest and digest, like, that really relaxed state. And so it helps get her out of her head and like out of like the loop of constant thoughts. And so it's just like a really nice break for her. And I explained this concept to her that, the reason why things in your life aren't coming to you is because, you're stuck in these like lower vibrational frequencies, and we need to kind of raise your energy up so that you can attract the things that you want. And so we've been working together for a couple months, and she's been like trying to get a job, and things just haven't been working out. And this is kind of the thing that's like going to get her the rest of the things in her life rolling.
Yeah.
And so it was really amazing. Maybe last week she texted me, and it was like all caps, and it was like, Zia, I got the job.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's amazing. Doesn't it feel so good when that happens?
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, it's working, and just like in your words. Amazing.
It's really that simple. I mean, like, I keep saying, like, energy can't flow through tension. But once you're in a more relaxed, receptive state, then it's like everything starts to flow.
Yeah, yeah. That is so great. And tell me a bit about, for you and yourself with your business. And, you kind of talked to us a bit about the journey that you've been on, where you started off with all these different things and sort of had a business that was in so many different areas. And to today, what has that change been like for you? And what do you feel now with your business?
Oh my goodness. Well, when I think back then, one of my biggest things was I was afraid to be seen. And like through this work and doing like the self work is what I'm realizing was holding me back. And it was like I left my corporate job to do this full time, and that was actually the easy part. Because like trying to figure out how to like be an entrepreneur and like do digital marketing, and I just realized that there was a lot that I just did not know. And and I was like afraid to put myself out there. I was afraid to be seen, imposter syndrome, afraid to be vulnerable, and all of that. And so yeah, I was like just afraid to like do any sort of marketing and any of that. And I just like really had to ask myself, like, is this really what I want? And like I said, like being an entrepreneur has always been a dream of mine. And I was like, yeah, so you know what, I had to figure it out. And I'm so glad that, we started working together, because I was able to like get over that fear. And now I'm like ready to, I'm like the face of my business and I'm the face of my brand. And I'm like, love putting myself out there. And it's like, I want people to know.
And I think that so much of that just comes from, what you've shared, being able to simplify down all of those different aspects of what you had, because you were kind of context switching the whole time, like, I'm now talking about this, now I'm talking about this over here, so many different topics, and who is it I'm really talking to, and why am I talking to them? It just makes marketing so hard when you're in all of these different places and you're trying to be all these different things, and it confuses, what it is that you're saying and who you're saying it to. Whereas now that you have brought that into one really kind of simplified but complex at the same time. I love what you've done. You brought it together, but seeing you now, the place that you're in, it's almost like you've been doing that same work on yourself, because that stress base of like, oh, I don't know how to write this, and working really hard at it seems to have disappeared. Would that be right?
Yes, no, that's absolutely it, because I really struggled like when in the beginning, like trying to figure out like, who am I talking to? Or like, why did I even start this business? Like, who did I have in mind? Like, what's my why? And yeah, I really did have to like dig deep and like, spend some time like getting to the bottom of those answers, because yeah, I mean, there's, the conditioning and, all the stories and stuff that we tell ourselves. But yeah, I mean, it was like, I just felt like I just kept banging my head up against the wall. But when I really like took a step back and just, listened in,
yes,
it all became clear.
Yes. And that is it, isn't it? It's like, it's the listening in. And I think so often we're looking out and we're reading all of the things online, and there's so much going on, all this noise.
That's just it.
And like, we're forgetting that you already knew what your core, what you could bring to other people. You already had all of these things inside you. It was just they were in a jumble, and you weren't able to see it because you were looking out and looking externally.
That is 100% it. And that's like really been my whole story, is like, looking out here when really all the answers were in here. It's like, I already was a coach and a healer and a teacher and an entrepreneur. I just had to remember that I was all those things already. It's like, I didn't have to like find something out here. It was already inside me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And just seeing, like, even just this conversation here, you're so clearly in your zone, you're in your space, you know exactly what it is that you do, you've explained it beautifully, and I love everything that you've been saying. It's like, who does not want this? Seriously, like, come on, let's get our lives together. Let's actually get to a better level than even what we're on right now. And clearly that you have the expertise in helping people do that. Yeah, it's just amazing. You are embodying literally that exact thing, which the embodiment coach is the expert in embodiment. Look at her.
I am walking my talk.
Yeah. That's incredible.
But it just feels so good. It just feels so aligned. Like, it just feels like this is what was meant to be.
Yeah. And was there a moment that you can remember where it just felt like it clicked into place for you?
I think when I started to kind of like dig deeper into my fears, because I was sort of like stuck in this procrastination, I'd make a list of things and then I would still be making the same list every day. And I'm like, okay, why am I not able to move forward? Like, why am I not like getting the results that I want? And when I took a step back and actually like dug deep into the fears, I think that sort of like started this whole like, this unfolding of my message, basically, because I realized that what I was struggling with, like, lots of other people are struggling with. And even though like, yeah, I can help you with like your diet and your lifestyle and your habits, what is it that's actually keeping you back from like getting started, or what's holding you back from moving forward, and that's really like, I think was like the key for me.
Absolutely. That's so true. It is just being able to stop that, all of the other thought going on, and to just get clear and go, well, what is the thing that is preventing me from taking action? And it's funny because when you actually bring that out of the jumble of thoughts and examine it, and you're like, but is that even true? And why am I worrying about it? And does it even have to be done that way? Like, sometimes it can be the most silly thing of like, well, I'm afraid of writing and not sounding a certain way. And it's like, well, should we even be worried about that? Like, we can kind of examine some of those things.
Yes.
Just go, well, why is that stopping? Or writing's feeling really hard. Well, do you even need to do the writing? Can we do it in another way? Can you create content with video or with audio or something that feels easy? Like, there's so many ways if we can understand what it is that is feeling hard or stopping you right now from doing the things you want to do. Bringing those out and examining them can definitely make such a difference, can't it?
Right. I mean, and that's the thing. It's so often that we don't stop to even like question those thoughts. We just like believe them blindly. But right, if you just take a moment to challenge those beliefs or challenge those stories, like, yeah, I mean, there could be like another option there.
That's brilliant. Now, if anybody who's listening would love to learn a bit more about you and your business, how can they best find out about you and get in touch? Where do you hang out on social media?
Sure. Yeah, I'm on Instagram, zia.nix on Instagram, and I'm also on Insight Timer, and you can just find me under my name.
Amazing. And so tell us a bit about Insight Timer for anyone like me who had never heard of it before I met you.
So Insight Timer is a meditation app. It's a totally free meditation app. They have, meditation, breath work, guided visualizations, audios that you can listen to, sound baths, like everything. But it's a great like social community. Like, I have people that I'm friends with. And so when you finish meditating, you can like say like, thanks for meditating with me to all your friends. And they also do live events. So you can like tune in to like a live sound bath or a live yoga class. So it's a really, really awesome like spiritual community.
Amazing. And you have got some content of your own on there?
Yes. I have a couple meditations, and I'll be adding more breath work and hopefully doing live events soon.
Oh, amazing. I can't wait to see those. I'm going to have to get onto it and start following you and tapping into some of your sessions. So Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, definitely. I think this would be awesome. I love the sound of it. And yeah, it just sounds like a really great space to be in, where you can connect with other people and also do those things. So
yeah, totally. Oh, no, I was agreeing with you.
Felt like I cut you off. I do like to keep talking sometimes. I have to tell myself, no, stop, do not talk. Amazing. Thank you so much, Zia. This has been such a great chat this morning. I've really enjoyed hearing more about your story, things that I had never heard before as well. It's been really cool to hear it, and so incredible that you could come on the podcast and share your journey, your story, and what you do with the audience. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And I'm ever so thankful for your guidance through this journey with me.
You're so welcome. That's amazing. Well, I'll be seeing you soon, and thank you for being on She's Business podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of She's the Business podcast. I hope that you've been enjoying it as much as I have in creating the content to bring to you. So I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate your presence and your attention. Now, if you love the podcast, or maybe you just loved today's episode, then I would absolutely appreciate it if you would go to Apple Podcasts, scroll down, hit the 5 stars, and then leave me a short review about what it was that you really enjoyed in this episode, or maybe in the podcast overall. And when I receive those reviews, then I love to give those reviewers a shout out on my future podcast episodes. So you never know, you may hear your name getting a shout out in a future episode if you do that. So thank you once again for your time, and I'll see you next time on She's the Business.